The Bayou Plaquemine waterfront park was illuminated by the gentle shimmering of the moonlight, which bestowed a gentle shine upon the audience that had assembled there with eager anticipation. It was not just another night in Plaquemine, Louisiana. Rather, it was the night that one of their own was celebrating their return home. John Foster, a native of Addis who had won the hearts of people all around the country with his sweet country voice and genuine charm, was finally back where it all started. This came just 5 months after he finished as the runner-up on American Idol in 2025. The International Acadian Festival had a pulsating energy that was fantastic. You could sense it in the suffocating air of the evening, in the conversation that took place amongst long-lost friends and families who had arrived early in order to get a good seat, and in the rhythmic tapping of boots on the grassy ground of the park. This was a different kind of performance than the others that had been seen at the festival throughout the years. This was a private matter, a trip back to his beginnings. The ovation was so strong that it drowned out the final echoes of the opening act when John Foster came on the horizon with a guitar in his hand. Lauren Lee, a formidable vocalist hailing from Gonzales, had already established the mood with her ferocious blend of rock and R&B songs, which garnered applause from the audience. However, as the lights began to lower and the first chords of Foster's set began to hum over the speakers, something changed. Plaquemine was overcome with a communal sense of pride and excitement. They have a son called this. They all believed that dreams that were born in little towns might have an impact on the entire country because of their hometown star who had performed on national television, sang his heart out, and stood on the stage. He made a joke early on in the performance, saying, "Give me patience if my guitar dies, I have to put in another battery." His easy humor was able to break through the electric anticipation surrounding the performance. There was a roar of laughter from the audience. It wasn't just Foster's voice that made him so charming. It was also his genuine disposition. Every smile, every joke, and every remark spoken from the heart reminded everyone of the reasons they had supported him from the very beginning. The enchantment of the singing. In the beginning of his nearly 2-hour show, Foster sang a combination of traditional and modern country music. From the song "Your Cheatin' Heart" by Hank Williams to the song "That's All Right" by Elvis Presley, his voice seamlessly transitioned between a twang of the past and a deep coo. Throughout each note, the essence of Louisiana was conveyed, which was a combination of warmth, grit, and unwavering pride. The crowd began singing along with Travis Tritt's "It's a Great Day to Be Alive" as soon as he began singing the opening lines of the song, and their voices could be heard rising over the Bayou wind. In spite of this, it was his performance of Garth Brooks' "Friends in Low Places" that shone brightest throughout the evening. There were thousands of spectators yelling every word, their hands floating in the air like a sea of friendship and pride in their nation. The park roared to life. The intensity of the energy was at an all-time high by the time he reached Calling Baton Rouge. For a brief period of time, the festival appeared to be more of a full-fledged stadium show than a conventional community gathering. As Foster looked out into the crowd of people singing at the top of their voices, he couldn't help but laugh in the middle of the song. A huge grin spread across his face as he explained, "You guys are the best backup singers I've ever had." An unexpected touch from the heart. After that, the unexpected event occurred. The moment that everyone would be talking about long after the lights had been turned off. Foster took a moment to pause, struck a few gentle notes on his guitar, and then said, "I would like to share something very special with you tonight. My new single is titled Little Goes a Long Way, and it is available for purchase right now." During the progression of the music, the crowd fell silent. It was soft, emotional, and unmistakably John Foster. A reflection of his journey, the song was about how humble beginnings, a little faith, and a little kindness may lead to something spectacular. It was about how he reached his destination. According to what he shared with the audience, this one is about where I come from. Every small thing is important, whether it be a smile, a helping hand, or a song that is sung around the kitchen table. This is because of where I come from. I set out to compose something that would serve as a reminder that everything is cumulative. There were tears in the eyes of more than a few people by the time the final chord in the song disappeared. There was a thunderous reverberation of applause as the fans surged to their feet. In the eyes of Foster, this was more than just a performance. It was a prayer for his return home that was set to song. The soul of country music and the depth of emotion. Foster recounted tales from his time on American Idol in between songs. He talked about how nerve-wracking the live events were, how he never expected to make it as far as he did, and how grateful he was to everyone who had voted for him, streamed his music, or shared it with others. He smiled shyly and continued, "I'll be honest," as he leaned on his microphone stand. "There are times when I still find it hard to believe that it actually took place. At one moment, I was simply singing in the living room of my house. The following moment, I found myself standing in front of Luke Bryan, Katy Perry, and Lionel Richie himself. You guys are not accustomed to that." The audience chuckled, but then he decided to take a serious tone. "Coming back to my hometown and discovering that nothing had changed, the same people, the same love, was the most enjoyable part of the whole experience. That's what helps me stay rooted in reality." Then, during one of the most heartfelt moments of the evening, he dedicated a song to two young ladies who would be in his heart forever. These young ladies were dear friends named Maggie Dunn and Carolyn Gill, who had sadly passed away as a result of a high-speed collision. As the night progressed, the song "Tell That Angel I Love Her" reverberated through the air like a hushed whisper of sorrow and hope intermingled. A tiny tremor could be heard in his voice as he sang. As the gathering fell silent, the lights from the candles and phones began to flicker like stars in the very distance. It was not merely a performance, rather it was a moment of genuine emotion between two people. At the conclusion of his speech, tears formed a glistening appearance in his eyes, and the crowd stood in awe and admiration. A touch of humor on the heart. Nevertheless, not every single moment was solemn. Because of Foster's jovial demeanor, the evening was filled with laughter. He couldn't contain his laughter when one of his guitar strings broke in the middle of a song. With a shake of his head, he stated, "That is the very first time that has ever happened to me in a performance." It would appear that the guitar, too, was trying to take a vacation. Some of the people in the front rows of the audience shouted, "We love you, John," as they laughed along with him. The string was changed, and he proceeded to play the next song as if nothing had happened. He gave a wink and then continued playing. The charm that John Foster possessed was characterized by the blend of humility, humor, and heart. A record deal with MCA Records was signed by Foster in June, and ever since then, his career has been moving at a breakneck pace. Currently, his name is associated with some of the most prominent up-and-coming musicians in the country music industry. What jumps out the most, however, is his determination to remain faithful to his origins. When asked about his aspirations for the future, he stated, "My number one goal is to be on the radio and to be considered a new country singer. On the other hand, I listen to traditional country music. That is the person I am." Artists such as Kobe Johnson, a contemporary country star who is well known for his candor and storytelling, are a significant source of inspiration for him. Johnson is a great mirror to Foster's personal journey. In addition, he, like Johnson, is working toward the goal of bridging the gap between traditional country soul and contemporary vitality. It is anticipated that his next performance is at Boots on the Bayou in Gonzales on October 31, Bossier City, Falston, North Carolina, Wellston, Ohio, and Dunn, North Carolina, will further consolidate his increasing status as one of the most exciting new musicians in the genre. But for the fans who witnessed him perform at the Acadian Festival, none of it mattered as much as seeing their local hero return with a guitar in his hand to remind them that dreams can come true, particularly when they are pursued with faith, love, and a song. An evening that will live on in our memories. At the close of the evening, the Bayou Plaquemine waterfront park was ablaze with the brilliance of stage lights and the rhythmic beating of musical instruments. As he finished his performance, Foster sang a cover of The Dance by Garth Brooks, a song that was a great representation of his personal journey up to that point. Taking a moment to reflect on the recollection of the dance that we performed together beneath the stars above. Family, friends, and fans were all touched by the same flame that had lifted Foster from a youngster from a tiny town to a national sensation. As his voice faded into the night, the crowd stood unified because they were all affected by the same spark. "Thank you, Plaquemine," he whispered as the lights went down and he took his final bow. He then placed his palm over his heart and extended his gratitude to him. "This is a night that I will never forget." After that, there was a loud round of cheers that was a mixture of happiness and promise. The assurance that they would always be there, rooting for him and encouraging him, no matter where his adventure took him next. Conclusion: it's more than just a concert. When it came to John Foster, the evening was more than just a performance. It was a moment that brought everything full circle. It was a reminder that celebrity is not very important without the basis of home. Not only were his compositions tunes, but they also contained lessons about love, grief, laughing, and leaving a legacy. There had been a lot of performances at the International Acadian Festival, but very few of them had carried with them such a feeling of coming home. Some individuals were heard humming "Little Goes a Long Way" as they left the park that night, while others were seen wiping away tears. They were aware that they had witnessed something truly remarkable. And somewhere beyond the swamp, under a blanket of Louisiana stars, John Foster most likely sat with his guitar, making a smile on his face, knowing that his adventure had only just begun.